what I have heard in this past couple days has been straight blasphemy. And I want to hear your thoughts on it because you played in the league with both of these players. And I want to hear the thoughts. And if you looked at the thumbnail, these are the two players on the left of the thumbnail. If you have not looked at it, it's there. Shout out to Tanner, my twin brother, for making the thumbnail. He's great with those things. He whips them up and we put them on there. And we've talked about CJ Stroud. Big CJ Stroud guy here. I was big on him before the draft. Pretty much called out what he was going to do in Houston,
Yeah, you
and
did.
that
You did. I have to give you. I have to give you that. I have to give you that. You really said C.J. Stroud was going to be the guy.
he was going to be that guy. And it's really, you know, you look at film. Film's a good indicator, but a good indicator. Although you watch film, watch football, man. I mean, you can see snippets of a movie, but you won't get the full story unless you watch the whole movie. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? You can't get CJ Stroud's full story if you don't watch the full movie of CJ Stroud.
That's right.
So the man goes, hey, he's asked, which player would you rather have for their career? Now, Aaron Rodgers he's not finished yet, but he was in this question for CJ Stroud. They asked him, hey, do we want Aaron Rodgers' career or do we want Eli Manning's career? And we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Uh,
He said he wanted Eli Manning, but it was
mm-hmm.
for one reason and one reason only. It was his Super Bowl rings. And those two Super Bowl rings have more significance than just about any other Super Bowl ring because the man
Yep.
he beat to get those rings
Yep.
is none other than who everyone says is the GOAT. It's very much a consensus now. Tom
Thomas
Brady.
Edward Patrick Brady,
Yes, Nate. Yes, Nate.
MJ's best friend.
I want you, yeah. Do you agree with CJ Stroud? I think it's straight blasphemy. But
Hell
do
yeah, I agree
you
with CJ
you
Stroud.
agree.
Hell
Okay, then
yeah,
we're
I
gonna
do.
disagree today. We about to play some Undisputed right now. Shannon and Skip. You ready? Because I'm gonna sit back real quick and I think it's straight blasphemous.
All right,
You go
listen.
ahead first. You go ahead first.
Why do
I'm
you
gonna give
play
you
the
thought.
game? Why do you play the game?
You play the game to
Why
win
do you play the game?
championships.
All right, two is bigger than one. On top of that, his two Super Bowl wins over arguably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game and the greatest coach to ever coach the game. And that he was heavy underdog in both games. And again, playoff Eli, he different. Playoff Eli different. He will go out there and have a mistake of a game and have a great game. But again, I would take Eli because again, it's winning two Super Bowls, but who you beat to acquire those two Super Bowls. That holds so much weight. Those two Super Bowls are what's going to get him in the Hall of Fame because he beat Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Now we look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, great arm talent, fantastic player, top five of all time. Yeah, I'll go top 10. I'll go top 10. He has all of the numbers and the personal accolades, the MVPs, and so forth and whatnot. But wait a minute, little fella. He does not show up when the game matters most. I, I will always, excuse me, I feel as talented as he is, he's choked in the biggest moments. He's choked in the NFC Championship game when they were up in Seattle. He choked in a divisional round a couple years ago against Tom Brady when Tom threw three interceptions and he threw back-to-back ones on back-to-back series. And again, he's had great regular season numbers, but when it comes down to the postseason, I would take Eli Manning postseason over Aaron Rodgers.
We're not talking about postseason, Nate. This is
I'll take his
strictly a
career.
career, a career.
I'll take Eli's career because both of them are going to be Hall of Famers. That's not we're not going to discredit either one of them's talent or anything. But Eli's Hall of Fame career is a lot better than Aaron's.
We about to play Shannon. You ready?
Go
Eli
ahead.
Manning is not the best quarterback in his draft class.
No, he wasn't. I thought Philip Rivers was the best quarterback in this
I
draft. Or
think
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben
Or
Roth,
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, then Eli Manning. I don't even want to argue with that because Phillip Rivers consistency is what matters most. You can have two Super Bowls, and I've said this before. Two Super Bowls is great. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You had 2 Super Bowls. You also had a top 5 defense both of those Super Bowls. So it's not like Eli Manning was doing. I mean, he did a lot. I'm gonna give him credit. He broke the postseason yards record. I think he still has it, does he? I'm almost certain he still has it. He broke the record for the most amount of yards in the postseason. Um, yes, he did with 1,200 yards passing. But as good as that was, he also had a very good touchdown to interception ratio. Your defense was outstanding. Okay, let's look at these Super Bowls. Let me give you these Super Bowls right quick. So can we agree that the teams that make the Super Bowl are the best team in the NFC and the best team in the AFC? Can we agree on that? Can
Yeah.
we agree on that, Nate? Now, when the New England Patriots are the best team in the AFC with the GOAT Tom Brady, and guess what? You want to know how many points the Patriots had that first Super Bowl Eli Manning beat Tom Brady?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how many points, Nate? Eli
14 and
Manning's
17, 17
defense
14. 17 14.
Eli Manning's defense held Tom Brady's #1 seeded Patriots to 14 points.
Yeah.
14, Nate. That is 2 possessions. If that ain't, and you know how many possessions somebody gets in a game. If that ain't good, I don't know what is. When you carry now we can talk about Eli Manning being great. But you know what the defense did the next Super Bowl Eli Manning won? They held Tom Brady, who had arguably a better offense. We can argue about that. He had arguably a better offense. Well, no. Which one year did he have Randy Moss? First year, the first Super Bowl
I
that
want to
he.
say, yeah, the first one they were undefeated.
Okay, no. They had the better offense then. But regardless of that, that even makes my argument even better when they hold Randy Moss and the undefeated Tom Brady to 14 points. The second Super Bowl, it was only 17 points. So you're going to sit here and say Eli Manning has the better career than Aaron Rodgers because he beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls. But you want to know what, Nate? The defense stopped Tom Brady for 14 points the first year with an undefeated record going in the Super Bowl, and Randy Moss, who's the second greatest wide receiver of all time, behind Jerry Rice. And then the next Super Bowl held them to 17. When I see a 1 in front of the number in a double digit number, Nate, I'm thinking that's good news.
He showed up when it mattered most. When has Aaron showed up when it mattered most?
Eli Manning just played quarterback, Nate. That's all he did.
And
He
and
didn't
then in the
have to
big
show up.
and
No,
the biggest
he
moments
did.
he showed up. In the biggest moments he showed up.
He did have to show up. All he had to do was show up and go to class. He didn't have to work in class. He had to show up and take notes. That's all he did. He didn't have to study. You know who did the studying? The defense. You know who took the tests? The defense. You know who passed the class? The defense. All Eli Manning had to do was take the notes and show up to class.
And Eli still had to beat a Patriots team that had was that Rodney Harrison, Teddy Bruschi, Vince Wilfork,
Ty Law,
hold
wasn't he
on,
on there?
Ty Law, no, Asante Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he had to beat a defense that was stacked with perennial ballers. Um, Again, in the next year, the next Super Bowl, he had to do the same thing. He had to beat a team that had really good players. So we can't discredit him. I'm just going to say I take Eli because he showed up in the big moments, like in big moments. Again, he showed up in big moments. One of the greatest playoff big games I've ever seen was when Brett Favre last year in Green Bay when they played the Giants and Eli showed up. Brett Favre's last throw, which again he wasn't going to retire on an interception, but that was a great game between two really good football teams, the New York Giants and the Green Bay Packers. And then you look at the playoff runs between the Giants, both Super Bowl years, magical. On top of the fact, yes, he had a great defense, he had a great running game because that's one of the things that does not get highlighted is the fact that his running game with Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs was phenomenal. That's what helped Eli a lot, big time. And not to mention, he had big play receivers. You know, the first Super Bowl, Plaxico Burress. The second Super Bowl, dang, who was that receiver? He was from North Carolina, and Victor Cruz. Um, you
You talking
know,
about the helmet catch? Who's the
no, that's
helmet
David
catch?
Tyree. Tyree, that's
That's
David
sweet.
Tyree. That's the first Super Bowl.
But he
That's
wasn't really that. He
No,
wasn't
he
that
wasn't.
good.
He just again, he was there. He was a receiver that made a impactful play that he go down in history. Oh yeah, your dad is right. Bill did get out coached by yeah, he did. By Tom Kaufman. He did get out coached by Tom Kaufman. He really did. You know, that was actually one of the first times we ever seen Bill not make an adjustment, but the other team made, like, adjustments and won. So Hakeem Nicks, that's who it was. Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz was the second Super Bowl. We cannot, again, we gotta call a spade a spade, man. Again, if we go back and look, the playoff run that New York had, their two Super Bowls, was magical. If we go look back, matter of fact, we go look back from December on to the playoffs. Eli was on, New York was moving. I'll take his career because, again, we expect all these things from Aaron Rodgers. We expect greatness. We expect Aaron to be somebody that competes for Super Bowl every year and shine in the biggest moments, but he's come up short. You don't expect that from Eli Manning. You don't. What you expect that from Peyton Manning, not Eli. And Eli has shown up. You get a man his flowers. He makes a lot of
Who
mistakes.
who's to say big moments define a career? Shoot, Nate. This is all nostalgia, bias, all this stuff. I look at the numbers, I look at the stats, and if I haven't already got you on the Aaron Rodgers train on who's got the better career, I think it's obvious. I think it's simple. If I go ahead in my second year in the NFL, I'll rush for 1,000 yards. Okay? And they're like, okay, this is a good guy. We're going to keep him on our team. If I don't even come close to 1,000 yards those years, but I had a big moment. I was look, I was Christian McCaffrey. I had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. I was an offensive player of the year candidate, and then I don't ever touch it again. Does that big moment define my career as in I'm going to get a next contract? Because guess what? If I don't touch that 1,000 yards again, I ain't getting another contract with that team. Because if I can't produce, they ain't going to give me another contract. Big moments do not define careers. Big moments are there. They help out the career. They don't define it. I can go ahead and I
You
can
said they don't
spell.
define it. They don't
No, they
define it.
don't. No, they
You
don't.
sure? You sure? Our big moments are, let's go to a different sport. Let's not talk about football. Big moments. Michael Jordan has some really, really big moments. They defined his career. Last shot, all of the buzzer beaters and whatnot that he's had. Okay.
Yeah, but
Baseball.
he also won
No, no,
six
no, no,
finals, Nate. He
no, no, no,
won
no.
six
But
finals.
yeah,
Six finals.
big moments in those finals, in the playoffs, and so forth in the regular season. Big moments. Big moments do define a career. Okay, let's go baseball because I love baseball. A lot of guys don't know I love that. I was actually a good second baseman. Derek Jeter has some of the biggest moments in MLB history and in MLB World Series history. Moments define his career. The moment in itself really does define his career. All right, let's go. Let's go golf then. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods. Some of the biggest moments on the green. Some of the biggest moments, and I know my pops is gonna love this because he's a golfer, you know, and Tiger Woods. Okay, let's go tennis. Whether we're going Serena Williams or anybody else, Serena Williams, the goat, the greatest of all time, has had so many big moments. Whether it was at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open or any of that stuff, moments do in itself. They don't just highlight a career, but they make the career.
I agree. Big moments play part, but let me give you a little analogy because I'm a big analogy guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. Look, the big moments matter. I'm not disagreeing with that. The big moments matter, but it's also what we can do in between those big moments that mattered most. I'm gonna give you example. When I'm going down and I'm back in school, I'm back in elementary school, right? And I'm
Hmm.
gluing down a sheet of paper. Okay, If I never glue down the corners to two pieces of paper, those corners are going to flap up. Okay, I can put big glue globs on each side of the paper. But guess what, Nate? Those two papers aren't glued together because it's what's in between those big moments that matter most in a career. And guess who's had the in between moments better? It's Aaron Rodgers. So you're going to tell me you're going to take somebody that's never made an all-pro team in his entire career over a dude who's made it 4 times, who's won the MVP 4 times, won a Super Bowl MVP because a dude had beat Tom Brady twice. Now, Aaron Rodgers' papers are glued together in his career. They're glued together. His big moments are there. His little moments are there. It is fantastic. It's like a cherry on top. But Eli Manning, his corners on his paper back in elementary school, they're like this, Nate. They're not touching because his little moments aren't there. We're going to say big moments define the careers, Nate. It's also those little moments that matter as well. And Aaron Rodgers has a lot more little moments to give out than Eli Manning does. We can't have we can have a nice prime steak. It can be right in front of our face, smell good, all this stuff. But you want to know what makes that steak even better? The sides that come with it. If I get a nice salad and a baked potato on the side of that steak, it's going to be chef's kiss. I'm going to be complete and satisfied and fulfilled. But if I just have a steak in front of me and I eat it and I don't get those sides, there's going to be something missing. And that's exactly what's happening with Eli Manning. Something is missing in his career that does not define it as better than Aaron Rodgers. So if I have not sold you on the Aaron Rodgers train, I don't know how I will, because guess what, Nate? I will take a 4-time MVP, a 4-time first team All-Pro member, a 1-time Super Bowl champion, 1-time Super Bowl MVP over a dude that made the Pro Bowl how many times in his career? Oh, he made the Pro Bowl 4 times in a 16-year career. And he
Two
beat
Super
Tom
Bowls
Brady. He
and two
beat
Super
Tom Brady
Bowls,
twice, and that's all he's
two
got to
Super
show
Bowls,
for
and
it.
how many Super Bowl MVPs? How many Super Bowl MVPs?
2 of them, probably.
You got 2 of them. Okay. Now we're talking about all pros. All right. I give it to Aaron. I give it to him the accolades and the accolades. I give it to him. But big moments, again, I can point out so many big moments that both have dropped the ball. But I can point out more so with Aaron because the expectation with Aaron was so much higher.
You can drop the ball, Nate, but as long as my pages are glued together, I can complete my assignment. I can
Okay.
complete my meal. I can feel satisfied on my 5-star meal. But I can't be satisfied if I don't have the sides to go with it, Nate. There's no way. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I can beat Tom Brady twice. I can eat a steak by itself twice. But I can eat 2 steaks. I can have 2 steaks in front of me if I don't have the salad or the baked potato or the dessert that comes after it. I just can't call it a career defining thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at
Okay.
that. If
Okay.
y'all enjoyed
Okay.
our Skip and Shannon, you put down below in the comments if you're still watching now or if you're watching later after the fact. Go ahead and put who you think has the better. Who are you going to take? Are you going to take Aaron Rodgers, the filet mignon, baked potato salad, brownie, dessert after you get your meal and finish and feel satisfied and complete? Who might have dropped the ball? Okay, look, we forgot the ice cream to go on top of the brownie. We forgot it. We dropped the ball there. But you still get dessert. You still get your dessert after your steak. We might have dropped the ball. We might have forgot the chives and green onions on your baked potato, but the rest of it's still there. But you know what we forgot with Eli Manning? We forgot the whole sides. We forgot the brownie. You didn't get that with Eli Manning, but you know what? You're going to get it with Aaron Rodgers. You're going to get it with there. But we might have dropped the ball a couple times, forgot the green onions, but it happens. Life happens. We move on. Give me Aaron Rodgers, Nate.
I'm taking Eli.